Okay, forget everything you think you know about cannabis. Seriously. We're not here to talk politics, we're not here to talk culture. We're here to solve a biological mystery that has been hiding in plain sight for, well, forever. I mean, really, stop and think about it for a second. How can a plant, just a plant, literally hijack your brain? Well, it turns out the answer isn't some random fluke of nature. Nope, it's a secret that's been locked inside your own body this whole time, and we're about to hand you the key. You see, the real secret isn't in the plant at all. The secret is in you. Right now, there is a hidden system, a vast network, running inside your body. And the chemicals in cannabis just so happen to fit into it perfectly. It's kind of like finding a random ancient key on the ground, and then realizing it opens the front door to your own house. So what is this hidden system? It actually has a name, the Endocannabinoid System, or the ECS for short. And look, if you've never heard of it, you are not alone. It's one of the most important systems in your entire body, and somehow it's been kept a secret for way too long. Think of your body as this incredibly complex, high-tech machine. Well, the ECS is the master control panel. It's the silent operating system that's always running in the background, making sure every little thing is perfectly calibrated. And its main job? Well, it all comes down to one simple, crucial word: homeostasis. It's just the scientific term for keeping things in perfect balance. You know, it's why you sweat when you're hot and shiver when you're cold. But the ECS takes that idea to a whole other level. It's like the silent conductor of your body's orchestra, constantly making tiny adjustments to keep every single instrument perfectly in tune.
And when I say it regulates things, I mean it regulates pretty much everything. Your mood, your stress levels, how you sleep, your appetite, pain, memory. Yep, the ECS is the puppet master pulling the strings behind it all. This is not some minor biological footnote, people. This is the very foundation of how you feel every single day.
So, how in the world does this master system pull all that off? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple, and it all comes down to a lock and a key. And to crack this code, we gotta start with the locks. All over your body, your cells are just covered with these tiny little docking ports, or locks, called cannabinoid receptors. There are two main types you need to know about. You've got CB1 receptors. Think of those as the locks in your brain and nervous system. They control things like your mood, memory, and pain. Then you have CB2 receptors. Those are the locks out in your body, mostly in your immune system, managing things like inflammation.
And here's where things get really wild. These aren't just a few random locks scattered about. The CB1 receptors in your brain, get this, are the single most abundant type of receptor of their kind. Let that sink in for a second. Your brain is literally physically wired for this system. It wasn't an add-on. It's a core part of your design. Okay, so if your body is filled with all these locks, it has to have its own keys to open them, right? Of course it does. And the story of your body's own homemade keys? Well, this is where it gets really cool. I want you to meet anandamide. It's often called your body's own bliss molecule. Its name literally comes from the Sanskrit word for internal ecstasy. Your body is an expert chemist, and it cooks up this molecule on demand whenever you need it. Feeling stressed out? Your body releases anandamide to tell you, hey, just chill for a second. It is your personal, all-natural calming agent. So your body has this perfect system of locks and its own perfect keys. But what happens when an imposter shows up? A key from a plant that just happens to be a perfect skeleton key for your body's locks. This, right here, is where the story of cannabis truly begins. And it all starts with a molecule called THC. Now, THC is the famous or, infamous compound in cannabis. It's the part that causes the high. It's the reason the plant has its most well-known effects. And the only reason it works is because it's a molecular mimic, a master of disguise. So here's the twist. THC is shaped almost exactly like your own anandamide, that bliss molecule. It's so similar that it can slip right past your brain's security and fit perfectly into those CB1 locks. But here's the catch. It's a much, much stronger key. It doesn't just unlock the door, it kicks the door off its hinges, jams itself in the lock, and takes over the whole building. And this complete system overload is what we call the high. That feeling of euphoria, that's your brain's reward system being flooded. The altered senses, your sensory processing is going haywire. And the munchies? Yep, that's your appetite controls getting completely hijacked. Every single classic effect of cannabis is a direct result of this natural system being pushed way, way past its normal limits. But hold on. THC is only half the story. There's another huge player in the cannabis plant, a molecule called CBD. And if THC is the key that kicks down the door, CBD, well, CBD is something else entirely. It's what you might call the weird key, and it plays by a completely different set of rules. Now, this is probably the single most important thing to understand. THC gets you high. CBD absolutely does not. And the reason for this huge difference all comes down to how they talk to your body's locks. One is a master key that takes over, and the other, well, the other one is more of a helpful sidekick.
So how does this weird key work? Well, first off, it doesn't really fit into those main CB1 locks in the brain. It's like trying to jam a house key into a car ignition. Instead, CBD acts more like a coach for your own internal system. It actually stops the enzyme that breaks down your anandamide. This means your own natural bliss molecules get to stick around longer and do their job better. See the difference? It doesn't take over. It just helps your body help itself.
Okay, let's just pause and think about what this all means. Your body has this incredibly complex, ancient system built right into its very framework. A system designed for one thing, balance. And out in nature, there's a plant that just happens to have a set of keys that fit that system perfectly. It's an unbelievable biological coincidence, which leads to one very, very big question.
If this connection is so fundamental to our own biology, the real question isn't how does it work? The real question is why? Why was this plant made one of the most illegal, one of the most vilified substances on the entire planet? Now that story, the one about politics, propaganda, and control, that's what we're getting into in part 2.